Ayumu Aikawa is a zombie resurrected by the necromancer Euclid Hellscythe after being killed by an unknown assailant. A month later, Euclid is now living with Ayumu as he continues to search for his killer. While searching a graveyard, Ayumu encounters a chainsaw-wielding magical girl named Haruna fighting a giant demon bear known as a megalo, cutting through Ayumu to defeat it. Haruna attempts to erase Ayumu's memories, but he inadvertently absorbs her magic, causing her magical costume to disappear, leaving her naked. Haruna decides to stay at Ayumu's house until her powers return. The next day, Ayumu is attacked by a crayfish-like megalo. Haruna arrives but is unable to summon her magic, so Ayumu uses his zombie strength to pummel the megalo. He discovers that he can use Haruna's magic to transform into a magical girl costume and all, to finish him off. After being seen by his classmates wearing Haruna's frilly costume, Ayumu is humiliated, and then Ayumu is informed by Haruna he must fight the megalos in her place. A week after the megalo attack, Ayumu's dinner time is interrupted by a vampire ninja named Seraphim who requests Euclid's assistance. When Euclid refuses, Seraphim decides to replace Ayumu's role as Euclid's servant and challenges him to a duel which Ayumu just barely manages to win. As he is unkillable, Seraphim decides to become Ayumu's servant and leave with him, though she has no intention of actually serving Ayumu. She does it to be close to Euclid. Ayumu recalls the night he first met Euclid, when he came across a house being attacked by a serial killer and was struck in the back by a sword. Euclid happened on the scene and revived him as a zombie. The following day, when Haruna gets into an argument with Ayumu and tells him to die, Euclid slaps her, saying death isn't to be taken lightly, prompting Haruna to apologize. Ayumu goes bowling with his classmate, Orito, where they happen to run into Haruna, Euclid and Seraphim, who have been spending the day playing games together. Ayumu tries to keep Orito from finding out the girls are living with him, but fails miserably. Afterward, Orito takes Ayumu with him to visit a girl named Kyoko who was injured in the serial killer incident. Once alone with her, Ayumu asks Kyoko about her attacker, whose description matches that of Euclid. While wondering if he should suspect Euclid, Ayumu is attacked by a Doberman megalo named Kerberos Wansard, who, as Hell's watchdog, has come to return the resurrected Ayumu to the underworld. But he stops when he sees Euclid heal Ayumu's injuries. As he leaves, he mentions the soul of someone being murdered nearby, so Ayumu follows him. Kerberos reveals that Euclid takes on people's pain when she heals them. After arriving at the murder scene, both Ayumu and Kerberos are stabbed. Kerberos is fatally injured and Ayumu is unable to make out the killer's face. Ayumu talks with Euclid, who explains that in order to keep her powerful magic under control, she must wear magical armor, cannot express her emotions or even speak. Euclid cries, wondering if Ayumu hates her now that he knows this, but he insists that he will stay by her side. The next day, the city is attacked by a giant whale megalo. Seraphim and Ayumu defeat the whale megalo in magical girl form after Seraphim cutting its neck open and Ayumu utilizing 1000% of his magical girl form's power to kick its head off. Seraphim drinks blood from Haruna, kissing her as an anesthetic, while Ayumu is caught spying on them. As the girls take a bath, Ayumu takes a call from Haruna's teacher, Dai-sensei, who tells her she originally planned to send Haruna to Kyoto to get tofu, but she ended up in Tokyo instead. Ayumu then gets a call from Kyoko, who agrees to meet him to help get the tofu for Dai-sensei. When the two meet at the graveyard, Kyoko stabs Ayumu, revealing herself as both the serial killer and a magical girl. She tries to kill Ayumu, but Haruna and Seraphim arrive to back him up, though Kyoko still has the advantage using powers similar to a megalo's. As Ayumu transforms and joins Seraphim in fighting her, Kyoko reveals she decided to start harvesting souls in order to become immortal. Ayumu manages to grab hold of Kyoko while Seraphim stabs through him to get to her. However, she manages to survive and wounds Seraphim, forcing Euclid to step in. Euclid negates all of Kyoko's attacks and manages to transform herself into a magical girl, which brings Ayumu to the conclusion that it was Euclid who absorbed Haruna's magic, not him. Euclid uses the power of her words to kill Kyoko over and over, which also forces her to feel the pain of each death herself. However, Kyoko manages to stop this by tearing her eardrums and attacks Euclid with a powerful explosion that knocks her unconscious. Resolved to protect Euclid, Ayumu manages to negate Kyoko's magic before killing her over and over until she runs out of harvested souls, leaving her with just her own, which he decides to spare. Dai-sensei appears to take Kyoko home for re-education when another evil presence possesses Kyoko and escapes with her. Euclid mentions the presence was that of a zombie that she was forced to kill when it was consumed by malice. Ayumu gets Haruna and Euclid to help him study so he doesn't have to go to summer school following the exam. As Ayumu searches for Haruna battling a horse megalo, he gets a call from Dai-sensei asking him to hold onto a package for her. When Ayumu finds Haruna, he is restrained by jellyfish Megalo but is rescued by a ramen delivery girl who defeats the Megalo with tonkatsu soup. She is revealed to be a vampire ninja named Maelstrom. When Haruna gets annoyed with Ayumu ignoring her, she pushes Ayumu onto Mael, making them accidentally kiss. Mael takes Ayumu and Seraphim to her secret base and shows them how they use a machine to rain tonkatsu soup on hordes of megalos. Seraphim reveals to Ayumu that according to the ninja code, because they kissed, Ayumu and Mael are married, regardless of whether it was an accident or not. Afterwards, Ayumu and the girls celebrate Tanabata. The next day at school, Maelstrom, who is known as Yuki Yoshida in school, declares her married status to Ayumu's entire class while Ayumu discovers that the item Dai-sensei wanted him to hold on to were X-ray glasses. Ayumu realizes that the X-ray glasses were meant for Seraphim to read secret messages. Haruna has a weird dream involving Ayumu trying to kiss her and beats him up for it. Yuki asks her friends, Taiko Hiramatsu and Konami Mihara, for advice on how she can learn to like Ayumu, trying various things such as a homemade lunch or walking him home. Meanwhile, Seraphim receives her secret message. Haruna finds Ayumu and demands a date. He ends up inviting all of the girls, and the next day they all go to the mall, where Haruna becomes annoyed at Yuki's attachment to Ayumu. Later, Haruna asks Ayumu to kiss her, but she settles for pummeling him instead. When they return to the others, they discover Euclid has gone missing. Euclid is confronted by the evil zombie she thought she had killed. Meanwhile, Seraphim reveals that she had received orders to kill Euclid since her clan believes that her magic is attracting megalos. But Ayumu manages to convince her to abandon the mission. The zombie's threats to harm her friends causes Euclid's emotions to waver, summoning a large kappa doll which lands on top of Haruna and starts crushing her. Dai-sensei arrives and knocks the kappa off of Haruna, only for it to land on Yuki instead, who then becomes possessed and summons a weapon named Mysticor which goes out of control. Mysticor prepares to self-destruct, but Ayumu manages to embrace Yuki and stop the explosion. As the zombie takes his leave, Euclid becomes afraid she may hurt her friends and decides to leave them, leaving behind a note for Ayumu. Months have passed, but Ayumu and the others have been unable to find Euclid, having disobeyed her orders to assassinate Euclid. Her fellow vampires order Seraphim killed. A violin is delivered to Ayumu's house which Seraphim takes an instant liking to. Later, Ayumu, Haruna, and Seraphim encounter the evil zombie named Yuruno, who attempts to kill them to lure Euclid back. However, they are rescued by Yuki and the other vampire ninjas, who force Yuruno to retreat. As Yuki tells Ayumu about Yuruno's location, Seraphim finds Euclid outside his house, but Yuruno kills her by striking her in the back. Yuruno forces Euclid to come with him after she ensures Seraphim's survival. Ayumu and Haruna later arrive at Yuruno's house before the vampire ninjas arrive, but Yuruno places a time bomb on Haruna's head before escaping with Euclid. With the bomb hopping between Haruna and Yuki, Ayumu takes the bomb and leaps out the window so it can safely explode in midair, blowing himself to pieces. The girls manage to find all the pieces to put Ayumu back together, but he does not wake up. Dai-sensei appears and sends Haruna's mind into Ayumu's self-consciousness, where he is blaming himself for being too weak. Haruna manages to knock some sense into him, allowing him to wake up. Later, Ayumu and Haruna appear before Yuruno and Euclid, while Seraphim, who had drunk Euclid's blood, stands against the gateway to the demon world, using the violin to play a soothing song to fight off the hordes of megalo coming through until the other vampire ninjas arrive to back her up. As Ayumu struggles against Yuruno, Mistletoe reacts and convinces both Ayumu and Haruna to transform into Magical Girl, allowing them to overcome Yuruno's mist, though Haruna is separated from Ayumu in the process. Ayumu then proceeds to beat Yuruno up for not understanding Euclid's feelings. Yuruno comes to understand Ayumu and Euclid finally agrees to let him die. Afterward, Ayumu begs Euclid not to leave again and she responds with her own voice that she'll stay with him no matter what. Ayumu, Haruna, Euclid and Seraphim go to an indoor swimming pool where they also run into Yuki, Taiko, and Konami. Seraphim is shocked to find her fellow vampire ninja, Sarasvati, under the alias Kirara Hoshikawa, performing as a net idol. She somehow finds herself in a popularity contest against her, which Haruna decides to enter as well. Dai-sensei brings out a device that allows Euclid to temporarily swap her magical ability with Ayumu, allowing her to sing as well. The machine breaks down mid-performance, but Haruna uses some of her magic to let Euclid keep singing. However, Ayumu, still with Euclid's magic, speaks his mind and accidentally puts all the girls in skimpy bikinis, leading to a swift punishment. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe my channel, and turn on the notification bell for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.